Hello, everyone. Hello. So, I was inspired today, actually from the other day, to host my live from my closet because it gives us a different perspective. And I was thinking about, I'm not even sure, it was just, this download came through and said, you should do a video from your closet and talk about the different perspective that when you sit in the closet and you view your room, how it totally changes how you view your room because you normally walk into it. And then through the closet, it's a little bit different. So here I am doing that today. It's kind of like also, sitting in a different chair in the house. It gives you a different perspective of the room, or looking through a window, say the living room window, and it's like, I never noticed it like that, right? So our life is like that as well. And lots of times we just go through life and we sit in the same chair and we do the same thing, and sometimes, when we're looking through the window or looking at the closet to the room, or from the different chair, it seems strange and familiar. And, you can imagine different things in the room, or how it's like, oh, I never noticed that, right? So why I was inspired is because because we don't really, we sit in the same chair, we look through the same window, we go through our life in the same patterns. And I know Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, when you get up in the morning, don't do the same routine. Just shift it just slightly so that you're not always doing the same. And it starts to shift your awareness. It starts to shift your perspective. It also starts to shift your brain patterns, your neural pathways. And it just gives that, I never looked at it that way before. So even brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, right? Your non-dominant hand. And I have done that, and I do that not all the time, but, back and forth. And it is a challenge. It's my right hand wants to come up and take control, right? And so when we get into this perception and these beliefs, it feels like it's in control, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. But when we look at it like brushing my teeth with my opposite hand, with my left hand, my right hand wants to come up and take over because it's familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. So it is about just looking at our lives in a different perspective and looking at our beliefs with a different perspective and our patterns and the energy around our beliefs. And how we think about our lives. It's also important too to look at the happy things in our lives as well and go, I kind of like that there, or I don't like that, right? Look at the happy things as well, because we want to be familiar with those too, and see that where I've placed things in the room, I don't mind them, or they're not working there. And then we do that. That is within our head as well, and with our emotional, within our body too. So how we see our world may never change if we never change our perspective. Oh, we've always done it that way. Those are some dangerous words there. Well, we've always done it that way, so let's just keep doing it that way. Even though it doesn't actually work, but we're going to do it because, well, there's so many reasons why, right? So it always just seems, so if we change it, then we can see it from a different perspective. But if we're viewing our life from the same perspective, then we can't make the changes. And we may want things to change, but we can't see a way out because we're so used to the one perspective. And that perspective could have been handed down to us from our parents, from society. We could have just created the perspective as well. Like, there's so many things that go on within our brain. So it is important to just give yourself that opportunity to look at life in a different way, with a new perspective, from a new location, like in the closet. I kind of laughed when I had that download. It's like, do it from the closet. Yeah, give them that perspective. And I remember being, as a kid even, hiding in the closet and looking, looking through the cracks, right? And going, can they find me? Can they find me? Of course they can find us, right? But it's just that, oh, I never, it's definitely a different view. And so we have our choices and we have our free will. So that means that we have the ability, and we should take the opportunity to sit in a different chair and look at our lives a little bit differently, get like a bird's eye view, right? We're here for the human experience to expand and grow. We're here to feel our emotions. We're here to feel our emotions and sit with our emotions. We're not going to get lost in the pits of hell unless we want to, in our emotions. We have a free will and we have a choice. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. Don't sit in that same chair. Get a new chair. We can ask ourselves questions for our well-being, right? Just like we ask our friends or family or kids, how do you feel? What are you thinking? Ask yourself the same thing, especially around things that are giving you some trouble. Beliefs or perspectives come in all shapes and sizes, depending on what is going on in our life, right? It's important to look at them, and it doesn't mean you have to change them, but just notice them and see if they're actually working for you. The good ones and the bad ones, of course, because life is about both. Duality. We have to have the positive and the negative. That's what we're doing here. We're here for the human experience in this dualistic world. We don't need to stay in the same place, physically, mentally, or emotionally. We do not. It's not necessary. If you're good there, then that's awesome. I just find it fascinating. I find it a fascinating concept to know that we can make better choices, and we can create new outlooks and just a new way to see things, right? Like I say, like a bird's eye view or a different angle in your room, which we need to do within ourselves. And it's not about the judgment, and it's not about criticizing, and that stuff doesn't work. It actually doesn't work. Judging yourself and criticizing yourself doesn't really make changes. It just, I think it keeps it on this repetitive loop and not really, I don't think it's very productive. I don't find it's very productive for myself. And I've noticed that for others, that it's not very productive either. But to each his own, because we're all here for the human experience and we all have our own journey while we're here. So sit in a different chair. Get that bird's eye view. Let me know what you see. How are things different, right? Leave a comment. And look at everything that makes you happy and sad. What makes you happy about a situation, right? The pros and cons of life or aspects of our life. If we're not looking at our pros and cons, we can't actually make we can't make changes. Never mind positive changes. We just can't even make any changes. Or life just happens to us and things just happen. And it's like, oh, there it is. We make these crazy statements. It's like, yeah, I knew that would happen because I thought about it and what ifed it to death. Anyways, new perspectives. Look at your life from a different chair. We are here for the human experience, and we are here to expand and grow and to remember how powerful we are, how much intuition, internal information we have to make our lives how we want it. Instead of having life happen to us, we actually have a lot more power than we think. So that is my perspective on perspective changes and beliefs, coming live for you today from my closet. Thanks everyone for watching, and I want to let you know too that I'm going to be going to twice a month, so I will see you guys still on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, but I will be back on June 11th as we navigate our mind, body, and spirit as we're here for this human experience. So now I'm going to go and get out of the closet, and I'm going to go and pick some dandelions. Have a great day, everyone, and see you on June 11th.